So, Beth, you want to do the intro?
No.
All right.
I'll do it, I guess.
Yeah, as I drink my beer.
Welcome back to PolitiTalks. It's going to be a pretty interesting episode today. We've got FA or Neil, as usual, myself, Cryo, and do you want to go by your online name or do you just want to go with your name?
Either or, I don't care.
We'll go with her name, Beth. She's one of those. So welcome back to PolitiTalks. And I guess we can begin.
All right, real
Neil,
quick.
go ahead. You're the lead this episode.
It's going to be great. Just trying out this new beer. It's coconut ube. It is very tasty. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out before we get into the.
Yeah, that's right. We got to show off our
discussion.
drinks. Today I got Pure Leaf because
I didn't bring
apparently
my monster.
Arizona no longer makes cans anywhere. So I had to switch back to the old school Pure Leaf.
Arizona.
Way better than
Arizona tea?
Arizona green tea.
Yeah, no. How do they not make cans?
They
make
do
cans.
make cans, but every gas station in the area that I drive in typically, they don't carry them anymore.
That's
think it's
because they won't
'cause-
raise the price.
Yeah,
They're the only one that's still 99 cents. They will not raise the price.
no, they have.
Yeah, they're
No,
now $1.50.
They haven't. No. So interesting thing. The CEO, the guy that owns the company, came out and said, "No, we didn't raise our price. The gas companies and everybody else that's selling them raised their price. We refuse to raise our price because we're still making a profit. It's just not as much." And that's why they started printing labels on their cans, and it should only be 99 cents. They have not raised their price. This was as of June, the beginning of June of this year.
I've
said
actually
he
seen
refuses to
cans
raise
with
the
the price
price.
printed on it, just like the 99 cent. I've seen cans with it printed on there as a $1.50.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So the CEO was lying to you guys.
So
He was lying to everybody then, but I just that's sad because I
Now
was
they're
pretty
still making the
interested.
99-cent cans. It's up to the gas station which version of the can they want to sell.
That's horrible.
So
They should've only
Amazon
sold
still
99
sells the
cent one.
99-cent cans, so we order those.
but they're selling them for 88 cents.
Mhm.
They're actually selling them
But
for,
we just haven't gotten around to ordering them yet this weekend.
let me just make sure.
Because
Let me make sure there's
Amazon will take a loss to put people out of business.
Hmm?
Amazon will take a loss on a product to put people out of business.
Yeah.
That is what they have
Well,
been doing.
a lot of places when they buy in bulk, when they can get them, like Kroger's where I used to buy them and Walmart, they would sell them for 79 or 89 cents.
oh, they're selling them for
But-
89 cents. They're selling them 10 cents cheaper.
So it's just depending on how many they had.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying Amazon in general, their history has been
Oh yeah.
to put a company out of business. They will buy that product and sell it at a loss just to make the company go out
Because
of-
they're when the selling side of their business, they're not really making a lot of money. They're making money off their Amazon Web Services.
Mhm.
That's where a majority of their money comes from.
And like Prime and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
Prime
All
subscription.
right. So I know we want to get to the big one, but I really want to, because I don't think it's going to be that long. And it was the decision, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. Did you happen to see that decision?
You turn this up.
Hold on, let me turn the volume up. I think it's because it's in the HP monitor, so it should be loud. Go ahead and say that again.
Okay, so it was the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association Incorporated versus Bruin.
Okay. What
This
happened
one
with that
had
one?
to do with the concealed carry permits in New York.
Okay.
New York required that if you wanted to get a concealed carry permit, you had to provide a reason that was above and beyond self-defense.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court said you can't do that.
Correct.
So your thoughts?
I'm good with
I
it.
know them, but my thoughts, what do you think they are?
No guns. No one should have guns.
You are actually incorrect on this one. I was actually all for this decision.
According to the
because-
Constitution, yes.
Not even with the Constitution. I'm ignoring all of that and just looking at the whole law that they were
Leftist.
addressing. Because the law that we'll get into that in a second. the whole law that they were talking about was a New York state law that again required you to provide proof that you needed to have a carry concealed permit that was above and beyond self-defense, right?
Yeah,
Problem with that is that there was no standard of what that was, and it
correct.
varied from precinct to precinct, and it
Okay.
was open to bias. And my big issue is, at no point in time should a law or regulation be interpreted based off of your whim of the day. It
Yeah.
should be unambiguous. That law was not unambiguous and should not therefore be on the books. So I was fine with overdoing that law. Interestingly enough, they did state this is not saying that everyone can carry concealed. This is not
Yeah.
saying that states don't have the right to put laws in place. It was saying this law in particular was not done correctly, and I 100% agree with that decision.
Yeah, there was a lot of
That
people that I
was
talked to that were
poorly
were
written.
confused about the law or the Supreme Court decision. They thought this makes it legal so anybody can carry. It's like, no, 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 no. It just removes that option that the state has. They can't deny you anymore outside of
Mhm.
specific reasons.
All right. I'm trying to find the one because there was also one that had to do with public funding and religious schools. Did you happen to see that one?
I think wasn't that the one with the red flag laws or whatever it was? Or no, that was the law we're not even talking about that. We're talking about Supreme Court stuff.
Talking about Supreme Court stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
What
I'm not
was it
sure.
Supreme Court
again?
decision.
I think you and I were just talking about that.
No,
where
that was the red flag laws that they just
No.
passed.
no, we were talking about it in the car where if you live in a rural area
Oh,
where
the rural, yeah,
you're
the
not
religious thing. Yeah,
that
Okay,
they
so the
can't
one,
pick and choose what public school you want to put your kid into, whether that's a Christian based public or private school or just a normal.
yeah. I
Private
can't
school.
remember what state it was.
okay, so the Supreme Court decision I'm looking at is Carson v. Mankin or Macon. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Carson v. Macon, Makin. And that one
I am here,
again,
camera.
it doesn't like seeing you though. It likes the camera, it likes
Apparently.
the mic. It likes that mic. It's a nice mic. Too bad you can't get to just stay on the blue green. That was really cool color scheme. Sorry, I want another drink. 'Cause that's really good beer. The decision says in a nutshell that if you're using public funds, how they say it, public program tuition assistance for parents who live in school districts
Yep.
that neither operate or a secondary school of their own nor contract with a particular school in their district, they can go ahead and go to a private school, and the private school originally, because it was using public funds, could not be a religious school. Now it can be a religious school because it said you cannot delineate between the two because the First Amendment rights.
Yeah,
So your thoughts on that?
I'm okay with it because it doesn't specify a specific religion. You can go to even though most pub or private schools are Christian, you can go to a Muslim private school, you can go to a Jewish private school, you can go to any of them. It doesn't specify which religion. So I'm okay with it, even though I'm not religious at all.
Okay.
Beth?
I am.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
I see something wrong with it. It has nothing to do with religion either. It's the fact that private schools are getting public tuition money. I have an issue with that because it's a private.
I mean,
school.
yeah, I have an issue with that, but
I don't think any private school should get tuition regardless of their religious affiliation. So that's my only issue is I don't think private schools in general, they're a private school. If you're having an issue with funding and you're a private school, then, you know,
well, it's not that the private school itself is having an issue with funding.
no, it's not.
It's because of the people that are out in the rural areas. There's so few people out there that they don't have an actual public school. So the money that the state would normally pay for that child to go to public school, they're giving to the parents to enroll them in a private school of their choice.
Which I don't agree with either, because again, you should go to a public school. If you can't afford the private school, you should go to the public school. That's why I don't agree with the private school thing in general.
But that would
Don't care
also
what
go
the-
into the Republicans' push for school choice. So all that money that each student is allotted each year should go to the parents to choose which school, preferably a public school,
It
that
should only be
their
a
kid
public
goes
school.
to.
It should only be a public school. You should only have to choose between public school to use public funding for it. If you're
Yeah.
going to go to a private school, then you should be able to afford it. If you can't afford
Yes,
it,
I'm agreeing with you 100%. They should go to a private
So-
school or public school.
Okay.
But if they don't have the choice available, they should be able to use that money to go to wherever they choose to.
If they don't have the choice available, I'm going to use one of your sayings,
What's that?
move.
Agreed. They should.
Move to a place that has it.
Moving is not an option.
That's
Especially
always
if they live out in, so that's, moving may not be an option.
There you go, FA. This is all you. You got to take this one.
Why?
Moving
'Cause
may
I
not
actually
be an
agree with
option
her.
if they live in a rural area. A lot of these people are tied to the land that they live on because they're farming that land. So they can't just uproot their entire lives and say, okay, well, this district doesn't allow us to choose what school we want to send our kids to, but moving for us isn't an option because our money is here, our business is here, our life is here. So that might not always work. So I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I
I
actually
know where this is
agree with-
going. I was waiting for this.
Like they're
Well,
farmers. I mean, they can't.
Because now he's going to use
Well,
the same argument that I used on him.
No, I'm not. I actually agree with her. I'm just saying that defense can be extrapolated to literally any other argument that we have, and rightfully so. I would argue that rightfully so, it should be extrapolated to any other argument that we have about this. Because what was the conversations we had where they should just move? It was housing markets, right? People can't afford the housing markets, so do away with subsidized housing, low income housing. Yeah, minimum
And
wage.
abortion.
Well, yeah. Well,
I've said that too. If you don't like it, just move to a state that has the abortion laws that you favor.
interestingly enough, shit, I'm drawing a blank on the fucking company, and shame on me for doing
It's
that.
Dick's.
Dick's Sporting Good. Yeah, we'll pay. For
I
you
think
to
I
go.
saw Home Depot was doing it as well.
They could be. Dick's was the one that stuck out because they were the first one I saw that was
Yeah.
doing up to $4,000 reimbursement.
Yep.
So you can go
And that's
get the
that,
abortion.
and that's not specifically for just the employee. It's for anybody on the
Mhm.
employee's insurance.
Mhm.
So, which is nice.
Good. Hmm.
I can back a company that does that.
What is this now?
So Dick's, so if you are working at a Dick's Sporting Goods that's in a state that doesn't allow abortion, they
Like
will,
Ohio.
like Ohio, they will afford you $4,000 if you get pregnant or someone on your insurance gets pregnant and wants an abortion. They will give you up to $4,000 in expenses to travel to another state that allows the abortion. I don't agree with the abortion, but I agree with the support from the company.
I don't.
I can back a company that will support its employees.
But then again, there are women that are having children that want children, and yet they can't get adequate pay for maternity leave, but yet they're going to give these people $4,000 to get rid of a child.
Mhm.
How is that
So
fair?
It's not.
here's a question.
That kind of
What do you
pisses me
consider?
off.
What do you consider adequate pay for childcare? I'm curious. What do you consider adequate pay
Not
for childcare?
childcare, but pay so that you can stay at home
You get
to
it.
take
2
care of
weeks.
a
So,
newborn baby.
So you're talking about maternity leave then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maternity leave is a welfare program. It's a social program, so it'll be done through the government, right?
Yeah.
Not
Not
necessarily.
through the company. Not through companies. Companies give you time off, but it's not paid. And it's all protected. You are protected. You get time off. You just don't get paid. So if your state doesn't have the program for it, you're not going to get state disability for it. California gives you 8 weeks of state disability. You get 12 weeks off. Both the husband and the wife get 12 weeks off, 3 months off.
Mhm.
If you have time on the books with your company, if you already have your vacation saved up, then great, you have time to use. If you don't, you just don't get paid, but you get 3 months off. To supplement that, the state of California will pay 8 weeks of those 12 weeks in state disability for you. But that's California. Not every state does that. What you're talking about is more of a universal maternity leave program like other countries have, which I would 100% back, where you get time off to take care of your child. If you look at other countries that are comparable to the United States, not just countries, because there's like, what, 178 or 213 countries in the world. So looking at other countries comparable to the United States, such as France, Germany, England, Switzerland,
Switzerland gives 6
Netherlands.
months.
Switzerland gives gives a year. France gives 2 years. They give 6 months to the dad. The mom gets a year off. Most countries give 1 year off to the mom. Hey,
Which that I think the maternity leave is one of the few things that you and I agreed on 100%.
I don't know if I really like the idea of companies giving people money to go to have this done.
I don't agree with that portion. I agree with the support from the company.
I don't
I
like
can
any of it.
respect that because the company is allowing their employee
I'm
to make a decision.
even if I don't agree with the reason, I will always support a company that will support its employees 100% every time, even if I don't like what they're supporting them with.
So now, because I'm still tiptoeing around the big issue, I will eventually get to it. What do you think of states doing something? And I want to say it was South Carolina. It was one of the states that has South in the title. So South Carolina is the first one that comes to mind because they did ban abortion. They are passing a law that will make it illegal if you leave the states, get an abortion, and come back to the states, and you can be prosecuted in that state.
No, I don't
Nope.
think their laws should extend outside their own.
Nope.
Oh, we're agreement on that. All right.
Yeah, you and I
That's
discussed this
awesome.
before.
Yeah, no, if the person chooses to go to a state that allows it, once they cross state lines, they haven't committed a crime in their state, which means they can't be prosecuted
Yeah,
for it.
and I can't go against that because you and I discussed it when we talked about California trying to charge the companies for 2 or 3 years extra taxes when they left California. And I said, I don't agree with that. So I can't not agree with this.
All right.
But
Cool.
even though I would never agree with that, the state holds its power inside its borders, not
Right.
without.
All right.
Yeah.
That's why we have the states. It's not.
Okay. And so I guess we can go ahead and jump in. Why do you not agree with abortion? I'm curious. I'm guessing this is both of you, not just a Brian thing. This is both of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, both of us.
Please, I'm interested.
It's not that I don't agree with abortion, because I'm okay with abortion up to a certain point and for specific reasons. For example, rape, incest, or
The health
the
of the
health of
mother
the
is
mother. It might kill her, and then up to the specific point before, I think it said was the 4 or 5 weeks for the brain to form. Whenever, I think that's what the heartbeat bill was as well. So,
So 4 weeks. Just you're saying 4 weeks up to they're 4 weeks old.
all right, camera.
It really hates you today.
It apparently
Even your
doesn't like me,
camera-
so my opinion doesn't matter when I disappear.
No. It knows your opinion's wrong and it's just cutting you off. That's what's hilarious about it.
Specifically, when I disappear, my opinion is wrong. That's what it is. That's the rule,
Okay.
right? You're not here, you're wrong.
I'm
Right.
just, yeah, I'm against it. I'm against the elective part, which means if a woman has sex and finds out she's pregnant and just like, yeah, I'm not ready for it, or I just don't want it. I just don't want to carry it. No, I'm told I don't give a shit if she knows the day she got pregnant. No, I'm not okay with any of it.
Does that include from conception or up to a certain point?
No, from conception, I don't like any of it.
So you're against the Plan B pill then, right?
No,
What do you mean no?
no,
That's the
because
same
well,
thing.
because my thing is no woman knows the moment she gets pregnant.
Correct.
So no, I'm not against contraceptives. I'm not against condoms. I'm not against Plan B. But at the moment she knows that she is pregnant, I think abortion should be off the table.
So then so what they should do is the moment that they think they might be pregnant, just go into the doctor, say, hey, do the abortion procedure, but don't tell me. You're okay with that?
Well, they wouldn't even have to do that. They would just do the Plan B, right?
Yeah.
So they should sell Plan B pills in the bathrooms like condoms in the men's bathroom.
Not in the bathroom.
No,
no,
They
because
should be
it's all-
over the counter.
they're
They
definitely.
sell condoms. It's a form of
Yeah, but do you
contraception,
really
right?
want to trust a condom from a bathroom?
I wouldn't.
I've never have, but
I don't know,
I've
I
never been in
just-
that position. So
My whole thing is I'm totally against abortion.
It's funny though, that's recently changed.
Yeah, but no, I'm totally, if the child is, if I'm okay with it. If the woman has been raped and she knows she's pregnant, I don't feel like it's the right thing to do to make her carry a child she had no consent in creating.
It's not the fault of the child's though.
I understand that.
So I'm agreeing with you. I'm just letting you know that's the
I
side.
know.
That's the argument.
And I'm not okay with forcing someone to carry a child if it's the result of incest. But the
Scoot a little
problem,
bit closer.
the problem is 98% of abortions are not because of those reasons. They're using it as a form of birth control, and it's wrong.
I don't have the thing to prove that right now. I didn't know she was going to say that.
You're gonna look it
No
up.
worries.
I'm going to have to.
All right, does that last comment may be under debate?
What? Wow. First link is to Kenya's Reddit page showing the thing from the Agency for Healthcare Administration, showing what she just said is true.
So this
That
is
popped up on
well,
that-
this is
I
just from
don't-
Florida.
Oh, that's Florida. Okay.
So
I don't
But,
know if I want to go off that because it's on the Kenya subreddit.
so
That's the first link that popped up.
it showed 0 abortions in the 3rd trimester.
Yeah, I
All
didn't know
so-
that it was that high. So I didn't never look
Here,
that up.
right
So I don't
here.
even know where to look. I don't know if that's a viable source, honey. Clinic quotes.
I don't know.
.com. Yeah. See, that says 99.31%. Yeah, I don't know how.
Well, go down to the very bottom and see who published it. Because it's gonna have the
Are you
first-
looking FA2?
Yeah, so there was research. Now it is old. I'm not going to.
I'll have to do some research and find out for sure.
I'm not going to say that it's new. It's from 2004. There was a report compiled in 2004 for the abortions that were compiled. Less than
It's-
0.5% were because of rape. 3% were because of fetal health problems. 4% were because of physical health problems. Another 4% is because it would interfere with education or career. 7% were not mature enough to raise a child. 8% just didn't want to be a single mother. 19% were done having children. 23% can't afford a baby. 25% were not ready for children. And 6% other.
Yeah, so I just basically they're using it as a form of birth control and it's wrong.
In
I'm gonna
Florida,
step
from
out for a second. I'm gonna go
2000
grab my Bluetooth so that we can, because it's kind of the volume is going in and out when you're talking. So I'm gonna grab the Bluetooth, but it's because we're using our monitor speakers.
Give me your mouse.
So I'm gonna go grab my headset. So you guys keep talking.
Give me your mouse.
All right.
Oh shit, it
It's
doesn't.
not here. Just sit over here.
I'll wait.
You guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
Are you able to send that over on,
With the link?
yeah. I wanna
Yeah.
look.
Copy link. Go to Discord.
Get down.
I'll just go ahead and put it in the PolitiTalks chat. So
Crap, I'm gonna have to find it.
Oh, just open it.
all right. So all right, how am I going now? Good.
I still gotta wait for it to connect to the computer.
It doesn't want to connect. It's
I think I have it
again, it
off
just
real
doesn't
quick.
like you. It knows you're wrong.
Yeah, so it just seems like
Just deleted him.
these women are not.
Huh?
It just deleted you for a second. You were like completely gone. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that
yeah,
happens.
that was hilarious.
Is it
So,
working?
okay. I'm trying to see if there's recurring abortions, and it doesn't seem to show that there's recurring abortions because typically, again,
Oh, we're gonna have to stop using the headset. It's freaking killing the Wi-Fi.
Huh?
It keeps cutting out. He's frozen.
I don't think your headset did that.
Neil, we lost you.
Typically,
If you can hear us. Yeah, he's completely frozen.
Here you guys left. Da, 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 da. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Da, da, da,
Yeah, we're gonna have to turn the Bluetooth headset off.
fix and post. Fix and post. We'll just fix it.
Can you hear us? Is it good
I
now?
can hear you fine. No, you're good. You were good prior to you guys leaving. You
I
weren't moving.
I don't know
I
what
could hear
happened.
you.
It just booted us out.
It didn't like it. Again. It knows you're wrong.
No, it started happening as soon as I plugged in the blue or set up the Bluetooth, because the Bluetooth is part of my Wi-Fi card that I got. So I don't know.
Oh, that sucks.
And it may be because
All
I'm
right.
streaming on the freaking Zoom and recording at the same time. So I don't know.
We'll bring that back up. I wasn't done reading. So, like I said, what it looks like is that these women are not using abortion for the intention that it was allowed for in the first place.
Well, that's according to your opinion, because abortion was one is between a doctor and a patient, right? So if those doctors and patients decide that they want to make a medical procedure, that's between a doctor and a patient, which goes into HIPAA. 1, 2, Roe v. Wade allowed for up to 15 weeks gestation, right? And so if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that the vast majority happen prior to the 15 weeks gestation. In fact, only 4% happen after the 15-week gestation period. Only 4%. So 96% happen within that 15-week gestation period, which was talked about in Roe v. Wade. So are you only going to talk about those 4% that happen outside? Because if we do that, then we're going to have to specifically look in the reason why those happened. And without knowing the stats, I don't want to say for sure, but I would argue that the vast majority of those fell into the categories of the woman's health and the child's health.
Probably.
And there's a reason for that.
Woman's
Would
self
you like
and
to hear my
child's self?
reason? Yeah,
Okay.
there's a reason for that. Would you like to hear my reason for it? Because it goes into why I'm still curious as to why you're against abortion. And here's the reason why. When you become a doctor, you have to you have to sign the Hippocratic Oath, right? You have to agree not to do harm to any person and do everything you can to save that person. Yeah. If you don't
perform an abortion, they're breaking.
I have not finished.
Let him
I
finish.
have not finished. So you have to sign that oath. If you violate that oath, then you can be put in front of a review board and have your license taken away. At the same time, there is a medical ethics review board that reviews the ethics of all procedures that happen, abortion included, and has been reviewing abortion and whether or not it's ethical medically for a century. And every time, medical professionals say that it is ethical to do. People that have gone to school for this, have practiced this, and are doctors and have years of experience and knowledge in this. Someone who's well more experienced than either you or I say this is okay and is medically acceptable between a doctor and a patient. And I find it odd that you just disagree with it. And so that's because your opinion is right. For whatever reason, you're going to usurp medical experts' knowledge on this. That is what I still find interesting, and I would really like to hear why.
Where are the vast majority of abortions done? Are they at private practices?
I would have to look it up. I don't know where they're done. I would guess Planned Parenthood, considering that's what everyone seems to get pissed off about, but I really don't know.
This is why. This is why those medical opinions say that it's ethical. The money.
No.
Yes.
That is wrong. That is just patently false. It's just patently false. You have nothing. I don't have to prove your claim. You have to prove your claim, and you have nothing to back it up other than you believe that it's because of money, but you have nothing to base that on.
Capitalism.
You're invisible.
Capitalism. I am.
So
because I'm hiding behind the mic, apparently.
Because you're wrong. You just said capitalism has to do with corporations, right?
Capitalism.
At no point are we talking about corporations. We're talking about a Planned Parenthood is funded from the government. So we're not talking about capitalism.
Mhm.
That's a moot point because this is a government funded program. So it's not capitalism.
We're not
Next.
talking about the plan. We're talking about the doctors that are saying that it's ethical.
No, so
They
the
say
doctors
it's
are saying
because
ethical.
they make money off of it.
They don't make money off of that. They
Planned
don't. They're
Parenthood does.
practicing doctors. They're practicing doctors. They're practicing doctors at universities and whatnot. They don't get paid any extra money above and beyond their salary to be on this review board. So they're not making money off of it. So again, it's not capitalism. You have no facts to base that claim on. It's just something that sounds good to you. It's like me saying that every guy that has a jacked up lifted truck has a tiny penis. I believe it. I don't know if it's true, but
And that is my firm
Right.
belief as well.
right, I have nothing to base that in fact, but you know what I mean. So you don't have a base in stats to prove that.
Hold on, she's looking something up. Let's see what she's looking up before we continue this.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Let's see. Majority of
Since
abortion.
we're talking about abortion, do you know when the first abortion law was put in place and what state it was done?
I don't remember. But I remember reading something about originally abortion was pushed by some white woman that was being racist towards black people or
That
something.
has to do with Planned Parenthood. Yeah, that has to do with Planned Parenthood, but that's not it.
But it's been a long time since I read about that, so I don't even remember all the information on that one.
Yeah. So I just found it interesting because this has obviously been an ongoing issue.
Mhm.
And the reason I say ongoing is because now it's 200 years old. The first law in the books in the US regarding abortion was in 1821. So, yeah.
What are you typing in? They probably do.
Do up, do ba do ba do up. All right.
So you said that the vast majority of doctors say that it's ethical.
I said the ethical review board has said that it is ethical and good to go.
Do you
Right, and
have something backing that up?
the scientific community in general has said, I can get it, sure.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Do-do-do.
And so private practices, most private practices in the US do not provide abortions. And they also don't provide referrals. So
right.
I guess, so, I mean, so it's just Planned Parenthood where they're getting that funding from the government.
Is that by state or is that in general? And
I'm
I'm
still,
also
it's,
curious.
it's a long article. We're still scrolling through it. She's reading it right now.
Yeah. Post
I was
that
just,
into the
I was
the
just
story.
reading
I'm
the
curious.
title. Because like I said before, I don't really have a opinion that I'm going to try and enforce on people because I don't care.
All right.
What? What'd you find?
So, so it looks like they base it off of a geographic region. It says a greater proportion of respondents. So basically what they did was they took a survey amongst obstetrician gynecologists in the United States. And then they based it off of what region the majority of them, I guess, So a greater proportion of respondents in the Northeast at 14% and the West at 11% provided abortion care than those in the Midwest, which is at 4%, and the South at 3%. Moreover, the proportion of obstetrician gynecologists who did not provide referrals for abortion services was significantly higher in the South than in the Northeast and West at 27% in each region. A lot of the reasons why these OBGYNs do not give, so let me see, it says only 7% of the obstetrician gynecologists who work in private practice settings provided abortions in 2013 or 14. So this is kind of old. Among those who did not provide abortions, 54% reported that they did provide referrals to a facility or a practice where a patient could obtain an abortion. However, more than 1/3 or 35% said they would not provide a referral for patients seeking an abortion. And one of the reasons, some of the reasons that the reasons why they wouldn't provide a referral is because some of the reasons included they,
What are you getting at with this?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just kind of seeing, but it doesn't look like a lot of private practices provide abortions, and only some of them will provide you a referral.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm getting
so
at.
that's what I was wrong when I didn't really specify. I was asking if most abortions were performed at private practice, but apparently it's just mostly at the Planned Parenthoods who is getting the funding from the government.
Now, what I did find interesting though, and it goes back to the government, is some gynecologists who do provide abortions would rather do a surgical abortion. So
which is basically like a C-section.
it doesn't specify, it just says surgical. So
I
I'm
don't know.
assuming,
I don't know the different types of abortions.
I didn't know they had more than one, or I mean, and it says a smaller portion or 25% offered only medication induced abortions. But the problem with that is the reason why that number is smaller than surgical is because the Food and Drug Administration restricts the amount of medication that these doctors can stock.
Okay.
So if they're trying to find a nicer way of providing abortions, why would they?
Does this survey go into the reason why private practices aren't represented here? And the reason I'm going into that is because there are, if you want me to pull them, I'll pull them examples of states that limited the number of places you could get an abortion down to 1, 2, or 3 for the entire state. And the way they did that was putting restrictions on what you had to have to perform an abortion. What I mean by that is states like Texas required that you have to have rights to the nearest hospital, and you had to have specific medical equipment that wasn't even required for the abortion to be on premises in case something happened. And that expense was such a hardship for most private practices that it was a moot point. So they would just do it at the hospital because that private practice couldn't afford what was required to be put in there. So they would just afford it at the hospital, which then is going to lower that number, right? So if you can't afford to do it in private practice, you're going to do it there. And then let's also not forget that how many doctors have been murdered since Roe v. Wade was done, and how many abortion clinics have been set on fire and bombed by this. So that's just a simple
And
number
the,
to look at. It's
other-
not now. I'm not saying it's like thousands. It's in the hundreds though, and I believe there was like 5 or 6 doctors that were murdered by that, and that's way too many because you shouldn't be murdered for that. So
Agreed.
that's going to be a huge deterrent to do that in your state as well, or in that area at least. So back to my point is saying that, yes, I agree that the majority of these abortions are going to be done not in private, but there's a reason for that. It's not just that because they're getting money, it's because it's been made to where it's very difficult to do that. You need to
Yeah.
be doing it in a setting. So if we can agree on that, then okay.
Yeah, we can agree on that.
All right. All right.
It's also not just Planned Parenthood places that are getting bombed.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But
Yeah.
both of them are wrong.
Correct. Agreed.
Just wanted to get that out of there because I'm not seeing that on mainstream media reporting
Like what?
that.
Example.
Fuck, I'd have to go pull it back up. This was a couple. I didn't prepare for any of this. I just thought we were
You're
going to be
welcome.
discussing things.
We are discussing, but I would like, because I don't
I
want to
can't
just
even remember
assume,
what the other freaking. I can't even remember what they're called.
because I just don't want to assume I know what you're talking about, and we'd be talking about two different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That'd be bad. So
because I know the one that does this, the clinics that do the abortions is the Planned Parenthood, but then there's the other one that helps with family planning, whatever it is.
yes,
I can't remember what
correct.
they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know
they,
which one. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about, and I
you
can't
know what
remember the
I'm
name of it
talking
either.
yeah, it was
Mhm.
like, I think it was last week that I saw.
Just type in family planning.
I'm gonna say Family Ties, but that was a program, like that was a TV show, so I know that was wrong.
Let's see here. Abortion provider, that's an abortion one. I can't even remember what the other one's called. Like there's the, like I said, there's the Planned Parenthood one that does
Mhm.
the abortions and the other one that doesn't do the abortions. I can't remember what the other one's called.
There's also a Planned Parenthood that doesn't do abortions, that just does family planning. But there's also another program. I know what you're talking about, and I
I
cannot.
just can't remember what it's called because I just
I-
happened to
it's
see
not
it in
like-
passing, didn't read the full article on it.
Family
Sounds like I don't
something,
want-
like Family Ties, Family First, Family something.
Because like I don't want to read about more freaking bombings, no matter whose side is doing it. I'm tired of this. The
And again,
violence is
I
unneeded.
agree, that is wrong. You should not be bombing people or killing people. I'm okay with protesting, but protesting is different.
You talking
Speaking of
about
protesting,
the fiery but mostly peaceful protesting?
which
that
one are
kind?
you talking about? Well, what kind? Please expand and explain.
You don't
Is that-
remember that one over this, what was it, last summer? Or was it the summer before, where that news reporter was literally standing in front of a burning building where they had just thrown fire bombs, and they said it's fiery but mostly peaceful.
No, I
You
don't.
don't, you
know
don't
what you're
remember
talking
that
about.
one?
I do not remember that. Were you
Yeah.
talking about BLM in general, though? Black Lives Matters protests?
Yeah,
In
most of
general,
them were
because-
peaceful.
Yeah, okay. Okay, then we can agree on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've already talked about that one. Yeah, most of them were peaceful, and all we saw on the news was the ones where they were bombing and burning and destroying everything.
Yeah.
exactly.
And I just thought it was funny. Well, it was a huge meme with fiery but mostly peaceful.
I have not seen
They
that.
they
I-
literally were doing the report standing in front of a building that was on fire that they had just watched them bomb,
That's hilarious.
and they were just trying to push the fact that it was a peaceful protest. There's a building that's been set on fire right behind you. You should have turned your camera 45
Right?
seriously 45 degrees.
I think it's because you're too far away from the camera.
It doesn't like you. That's hilarious.
It's because you're here and I'm not centered on the freaking
I
thing.
can leave.
No, you're
I can
you're
leave.
the main component
How,
of this
how am I the main one?
conversation today because, well, now you're gone.
Oh, sorry.
You're the main component because a lot of the people hating on the pro-lifers are saying that it's white men, whereas a majority, from what I've read, of the pro-lifers that are against abortion is coming from women. And I think you're a woman, but I'm not a biologist.
Oh, what is a woman?
Yeah, I'm not a biologist, so I can't say you're a woman.
Well, our conversation last week.
Huh?
Our conversation last week. You know.
Yeah. Hey, enough. Leave him alone. Yeah, so you're a woman, so I wanted your opinion on this whole abortion thing that we're going to be discussing.
Well, I don't like any of it at all. I don't think it's being used
So she's a bit,
in the proper way or the way that they claim that they wanted it in the first place. Because every person who I've talked to that is pro-choice or pro-abortion say, well, what if they were raped or it was due to incest? Well, that's the problem. They're not The majority of the abortions being performed are not for that reason. In fact, they account for less than 1%. And so I think it's being overused. I actually knew a woman. Well,
You don't know if she's a woman. You're not a biologist.
she's a fucking woman who got pregnant several times. And we all asked her, why, instead of getting an abortion, why don't you just start taking the pill? And she said, why would I take the pill? I can just get an abortion.
She's against abortions on demand. Is
Yeah.
what it is.
I don't, if a woman needs it because her life is in jeopardy due to the pregnancy, fine, because she can always have another baby, but she cannot be replaced. She's already here. She's living her life. She should not die to try and bring a child into the world. That my husband and I have had this conversation before when I was pregnant, and I told him, well, not really me, my mom said, if anything happens during the delivery of her baby, please tell me. If you had to make a choice between my daughter or your baby, please pick my daughter, because she can always carry another child, but I can't have another daughter. She's it.
Your mother can have another daughter.
No, she cannot. But her point is
at that point, I didn't know that.
so.
But of course, I would choose you. The life of the mother would take precedence over the child if it's putting your life in danger.
So I've seen I've known a lot of people who've had abortions, and they literally used it like birth control, and I thought it was wrong.
That's what it is.
It's
though.
not
birth control.
It's not I'm not doing this from a religious standpoint, because I'm definitely not religious. I'm not doing this on a moral thing. Well, I guess it is kind of moral.
It is a moral.
It is a moral thing, because I feel like
there's either religious or moral.
it is a moral standing, because to me, you're killing a living human being, and it's
your belief is that it's life at conception, though, right? Even though
that's what hers is. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though science would disagree with you on that, you still stand with. So
I don't care.
Well, because it's important though. If we're gonna look at passing laws, right? What makes your moral standing more than or better than anyone else's, and what makes your belief of what when a life begins more viable and more important than a doctor's?
I didn't say it was viable, but to me, it is alive.
Well, so is a cancer cell. Should we not try and kill those?
What's that?
A cancer cell is alive too. Should we not try and kill those?
Oh yeah, they need to go. But they're
okay.
But the reason why we kill those is because they kill the person that they are mutating from. I mean,
you could argue children do the same thing.
I don't know.
I agree. I can agree with that.
Just a lot slower process.
Have you seen the amount of gray hairs I've gotten since Zane's turned 16?
Oh, I know.
Right.
I've got.
And I don't have
myself.
I don't have teenagers yet, and I am afraid.
I mean,
so, yeah,
dude, you're already bad. I mean, you've only got a little tiny baby, and you're bald, man.
I know, right? Whew.
Poor man.
That was my fault for having a baby in my 40s. So,
Jesus.
You started late.
Yeah, my first one at 33, and my second one at 42.
Yeah, my first was at. Well, I mean, I was 18 when I got with you, and Zane was. Yeah, I technically was taking care. I was technically taking care of Zane.
Yeah.
But Zeke, my actual blood son, I was 19.
Yeah. It's crazy to me only because I've been working at bars and doing crazy shit since I was 16. I cannot imagine having a kid at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, any of those ages, mainly because of the lifestyle I lived at that time. It was not conducive to a family. Yeah.
And a lot of people can. It's all dependent on what your lifestyle is. I mean, I had basically a sedentary lifestyle. I just wanted to be at home.
Yeah, and for people like that, I think it's great. For people that aren't, there should be options. And
those options are to
option.
Have birth control. Seriously. Every time I fucking say it.
Because it knows like you mentioned earlier, abortion is a form of birth control. So you're right, birth control. Mhm.
You
We
can have
agree.
anything that does not affect
Amazing.
another living being, and up to a certain point, I will allow the abortion.
15 weeks.
Well, yeah, whatever it is when the brain starts to form.
That would be the science one was 15 weeks. And
Mhm.
so again,
No. The brain forms in like 4 weeks.
96% of abortions were performed before the 15th week.
Yeah, that's how it used to be.
That's and there we are.
That I think it was originally up to viability, and at that point, 15 weeks was viability. I think that's what it was.
Viability
I don't
outside
remember.
the womb.
Yeah,
Viability outside of the womb.
yeah,
And
Not
even
15 weeks.
then, that's stretching it.
yeah. I don't remember what
lot.
it was way back when it first came out. Because now,
Even now, 15 weeks is barely pushing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't think 15 weeks is viable.
Neither do I.
no. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
When my
Like I
sister,
said, I don't really have a
Well-
hard set.
'cause
Well, how long is the gestational period for a woman
40
right?
weeks,
or a baby? How was that?
40 weeks.
40 weeks, right? So 40 weeks is how long it takes for a child to.
On average about 40 weeks, because I had my first son, he was delivered at 38 weeks,
Mhm.
and my youngest was born, I think it was like 38 or 39 week. So
Yeah.
but they were viable.
Yeah, they
But I think
consider.
now my sister, she was born 7 weeks premature, and she was viable. Now back then it was a little bit more risky, but she lived. She's 32 now.
So right now, premature is considered anything before the due date. Due date is usually set at the 38th week, because if you go past your due date, you're fine. They give you that 2-week leeway. Like my oldest son went 10 days past his due date, still within the 40-week time frame. My youngest son, because my wife had gestational diabetes and preeclampsia.
It's diabetic induced from pregnancy.
Yeah, she got diabetes at the 6th month, and it went away literally the day she gave birth.
Yep.
And same with her preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is high blood pressure. Started on the 6th month, went away the day she gave birth.
That's that fucking parasite.
And so, what's interesting about it, right, is her due date. They put it at the beginning of the 36th week because that's full term viable. So lungs should be fully developed, should be fine outside. My son still spent 2 weeks in the NICU because his lungs weren't fully developed. So I can't hear what you're saying, by the way.
I was talking to
See your
her.
mouth over.
I don't want
Okay.
to interrupt you.
I know, right? So, but that's what they consider. So premature, like 7 weeks premature would have been 7 weeks prior to the 38th week. So that would have been right around the 29th week, which is really, really early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she weighed
But
5
still-
pounds, 5 ounces when she was born.
Yeah.
She was little.
Except my son was born in the 36th week and he was 7.5 pounds. He was the biggest baby in the NICU, but he was still in the NICU. So, yeah.
So
we've got Beth with the no abortions for anything except for rape.
or
Oh,
incest,
Rape.
real
incest.
quick.
or
I
medical
wanted
reason needed.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I wanted to go back because you mentioned having her because most of the pro-lifers were white men, and I just wanted to bring that up because I brought up a Gallup poll that was
I didn't say
on-
white men. I said men.
Okay,
Well, we can add on
I'm
the
gonna
white
go with-
nomenclature.
I'm throwing on the white because that's what I would assume. I mean, my personal bias, I would assume that it's primarily Christian white men.
Yes.
Those three,
Yes.
right? And so I had to look it up because then I was curious. Like, obviously, I'm biased. Let me look at this up.
Very.
So, 47% of pro-lifers are men,
Mhm.
and 42% of them are white. So,
Well, white
it's
people
it's
are
the majority.
Well, how old's that one? Because
this-
I know
The
'cause I
Gallup
know-
poll,
Go ahead.
yeah, sure. That's fair. I believe the Gallup poll was 2017, 2018.
Yeah, because it was here
2017.
recently that I saw that white people are slowly.
No, this is
towards being-
2022.
Huh?
This is the newest 2022. I'm looking.
Because
I'll post it.
I know
in there.
it used to be where white people were the majority. I mean, we still are, but it's not as wide of a majority anymore. I remember seeing something about that a couple weeks ago.
No. And that's also why we're going back to the one we talked about earlier about the religious schools thing.
Yeah.
And piggybacking off this and making it broader, I do find it interesting, and I'm going to blame conservatives, but primarily Christian
As you would.
conservatives, primarily
probably get
Christian
behind your
conservatives, right? Because
Yeah.
Christian conservatives tend to want to put their faith in their law,
Yep.
and that works for them right now. However,
Well,
you
some
fast
of
forward,
the things that they want to put their faith in is okay.
here's my thing. You ask any red-blooded Christian male if they believe in Sharia law, and they will lose their ever-loving shit, right? They flip the fuck out because they don't want Sharia law anywhere. But they would have no problem passing laws based in their religion. And I'm saying that causes a bad precedent because you believe that Christianity is going to be the primary religion in America forever, and it's not. We don't have a national language. We don't have a national religion. But if you want to start putting religion into your politics, when Islam becomes the primary religion due to immigration, you're going to have a change that's going to really piss them off. So
Yep.
I would argue that it's just better to keep religion out of all politics in general.
Yes, I agree.
Because you keep that precedent, then no religion gets involved.
Yeah, I agree.
On that, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, I agree with you when it comes to the Christian, regardless, sex, anything Christian, they're too much. I usually agree with you when it comes to insulting
religion.
them. I'm probably always going to agree with you.
This isn't an
There it
insult.
is.
This is just what I envision happening, because I believe it was in Texas where the private school thing was happening, right, with the religious schools. I suspect. I think it was Texas. I could be
I
wrong.
don't think it was Texas.
Regardless of what state it happened in. Oh, it was actually Maine. I was way off. Regardless of what state it
Oh, we
happened
got someone in the chat with us.
I have a feeling that the National Church of Satan will create a private school in that state and put it in an area that can be used for this. They tend to be really big trolls. So
We have
Who wants
someone in
to
the
chat?
chat. I didn't even notice.
I just happened to look over and I'm like, oh,
You're in charge of watching the chat, Beth.
okay, I'll watch the chat.
All right. So, Leo, I don't know if you're still here.
Hopefully.
He says, you as a non-religious individual, which means all of us, I guess, because none of us are religious.
Okay.
Are you able to hear us now, Leo? All three of us?
Oh, me.
So you can't hear Beth or Hefe?
Lay down.
I'm not talking now, so
We need to switch the sides here. There we go. Now it looks better on ours. So there's Cryo. And there's
All
FA on the. So now you're now on the correct side of the freaking whatever the fuck the thing is called on Twitch, the over panel thingy.
the winning side. Yeah.
The winning side.
Yeah, right. He says you should place the Sharia law next to the 10 Commandments and tell me which would be better to live under, not factoring God into it.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I've never actually done it, and I honestly don't even know what Sharia is, and I also I don't even know what Muslim commandments are, to be honest. I'll be honest, I don't know most of those because again, I'm not religious. I do think it's interesting that if you need a book to tell you not to be a dick, you're probably a dick to begin with.
Hold on, I gotta figure out this thing. He can't hear you talking.
I don't think he can hear me talking. I'm the guest.
Well, no, I'm the one that's in charge of the thing here, so he's probably assuming Hefe here. Okay, so yeah, he can't hear you, Hefe.
What?
So go ahead and let's try and get that fixed.
Yes, please. I'm looking at the 10 Commandments right now. You shall have no other God before me. I don't like that. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. That's done. You should be able to, again, freedom of speech. You should be able to draw and do what you want to do. Thou shalt not take the name of thy Lord God's name in vain. Freedom of speech. You should be able to say whatever the fuck I want. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. I am all for that only because I'm for hella holidays. I think every day should be a fucking holiday. So yeah, we should have a 3-day weekend.
Can you
with
hear
that.
him now, Leo?
Honor your father and mother. Again, you shouldn't need a book to tell you that. That's stupid. Thou shalt not kill. That's fucking obvious. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Again, I agree with that, but you shouldn't need a book to tell you not to do it. Where did I leave off? You shall not steal. Great. Apply it to fucking everybody. That's already a law. Make that part of corporations. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. I have no idea what the fuck that even means.
What's that?
You shall bear no false witness against your neighbor. I don't even know what the
It
fuck that
just
means.
means that you're not going to tell a lie, or so say
It has to be explained. It's
What the
bad.
fuck is going on with this?
Do away with it.
the way I interpret that is, if someone says, "Hey, did you see this person do that?" If you saw them, and you would say, "No, I didn't see them do it," or "Yes, I did see them do it." As long as basically just tell the truth when it comes to your neighbors, I guess, or
Well,
your
shouldn't
fellow
tell the truth
man,
in
not
general.
necessarily your neighbor, but your
Yeah,
fellow man.
you should tell the truth in general, but then again, snitches get stitches, right? So it depends.
Leo
on
says
what
you
law
shouldn't
go
speak
by.
falsely about your neighbor is what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
So
shouldn't lie
don't
about your neighbor.
gossip. Yeah, basically. So what Aaliyah said, just you don't gossip.
Okay, yeah.
So that makes sense.
Don't gossip. Well, that's gonna
really
ruin
hard, 'cause I really like doing it.
I'd say that's gonna ruin me and my wife love our telenovelas, man. They're gone. I can't do that. Fuck that. So that's stupid. And then you shalt not covet. The whole purpose of capitalism is based on commerce and you wanting shit other people have. So that would just collapse our economy. So that's stupid. All right. Sharia law. This is gonna be really hard.
I guess you're cutting in and out on his end on the stream.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know what your voice is. He can see you talking, or
Okay.
whoever they are.
I'll try and slow down.
It's just I guess it's cutting in and out.
From what I can find on Sharia law is Sharia law breaks things down into 5 moral and ethical directives. Either they are obligatory, recommended, permitted, discouraged, or forbidden. There's trying to find an example of what they are. They have main categories within Islamic finance, ethical banking. Yeah, I can already tell you they're already laid out better because they're in subcategories.
That'd be a lot to remember.
Uh-huh. Sharia is Islam's legal system. It's derived from the Quran, as well as the Sunni and Hadith, or Sunnah and Hadith, deeds and sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. An answer cannot be derived directly from these. Religious scholars may give rulings as guidance.
So it's coming out. Beth, can you say something?
Testing.
Yeah, it's not playing your voice for some reason.
Mine?
Yeah. I don't know why it's not playing your voice.
I'll have to get a headset then.
Now it's not playing my voice. What the fuck is going on with this shit?
So you were messing with all your audio crap and now it's all out of whack.
Well, no, it works good on my gaming stream, but this channel itself is new. So.
All right. So I'm going to have to say to Leo, is it Leo? Leo, I want to apologize for taking so long. I am having a very hard time finding examples of Sharia law. I'm able to find again what the 5 basic directives were, and I got one example of it, but actually listing what the laws are is proving more difficult than I would like, considering the time frame. Whereas 10 commandments are pretty simple because there's 10 of them. They're listed pretty straightforward. This is a lot more
It might just be my mic.
complex. And I'll also be fair, a lot of it keeps going back to women's rights in Sharia law, and I'm not trying to find that. I'm just trying to
I'm
find
just looking through them, moving my mouse.
some Sharia law, and I'm having a really difficult time for that. However, that might be a great thing to do. As practice. And again, I can tell you right now, just comparing the two, I think when it comes to 10 Commandments, George Carlin did a bit. Did you see George Carlin's bit on the 10 Commandments?
That's why my mic's only cutting in and out. I don't have a mic set up on here. Why is that not working?
And the truth shall set you free.
Shut up. Wait, did I click the wrong thing? I think I did.
Oh no.
See, man, I knew I should have messed with this beforehand, but it's kind of hard to do testing when I'm not actually in a Zoom meeting.
Well, test it out now.
Audio, where is audio capture? Why is my fucking mic not? I'm just clicking. This is annoying. Hold on. Live. Let's. Why is that not working?
Can you not just move it over?
I don't think so. Let me see. Copy. I can't copy it. So sorry.
I can't hear you.
Why is this not? Sorry, FA.
Oh, you're fine. When you're done, though,
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question. I started to ask.
There we go. Add existing. Mic 1. Can you hear us now, Julio?
Signs point to no.
Is it working?
Point to no. Signs.
Awesome.
everywhere,
Awesome.
signs.
I had the wrong option set for my freaking mic. That's what it was.
All right.
Okay.
So-
and can you hear FA?
He can. I've been talking to him. pretty
Okay,
much
have
this
you?
entire
Okay.
time.
Oh, so you got the
Yeah.
channel pulled up?
No, I don't.
How have you been talking to him?
Right here, I've been talking this entire time, not to him. Well, I've
Oh.
been addressing him. If he can't hear me, then he's been hearing nothing, but I have been trying to address this question the entire time.
So it looked like he said that the Sharia law is more like a it's like a book.
It is. It's a set of 3 books. It breaks down into 5 different categories. They have it broken down because it was something like obligatory, suggested, like forbidden. There's 5 different ones, and then there's 3 different books they pull from, and there's guides given different categories. Like there's a whole Sharia law based on finances and real estate, which I was unaware of. So I can say right now that it's a lot more well put together than the 10 Commandments, because the 10 Commandments are really just
Oh, dog.
a set of 10 rules, if you will. But my question to you guys was, have you seen George Carlin's bit on the 10 Commandments?
It's been a long time. I think I know what you're talking about.
I love
He
George
breaks it
Carlin, I'm not
down.
gonna lie.
George Carlin is fucking hilarious. But it breaks it down into why there really only needs to be 1 commandment, and it's just don't be a dick. I mean, really, that's what it's. Don't be a dick covers not killing people, not stealing from people. It covers not fucking your neighbor's wife, It covers not cheating on your wife. It covers not being a greedy asshole and wanting what other people have. It covers every one of the 10 commandments, but just don't being a dick. And again, it goes back to the point.
Leo
Like,
says, "Don't be a dick" is open to an intention.
well, especially if you're watching Team America World Police, right? Because there's 3 types, according to Team America World Police, there's 3 types of people in this world: dicks, pussies, and assholes.
You can
And
handle that.
dicks might fuck pussies, but
Yeah.
dicks also fuck assholes. I just remember that. That was fucking hilarious. You see that, right? Team America World Police.
Oh, it's been a
Yeah.
long time.
Do you
That
remember
came
the
out
scene
when
where
I
he's
was
talking
still
about?
in, I think I was in high school, middle school.
Do you remember the part where he's talking about being a dick
Yeah.
and the 3 types of people in the world?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's pretty it's pretty basic. Yeah, I'm not a fan of religion in general.
No.
I
is-
understand why it was
which-
around to begin with, but
Which it
it's
surprises a
antiquated.
lot of people when they talk to us. I think we surprised you too when I told you I was atheist, knowing my conservative viewpoints. That surprises a lot of people when they find a atheist conservative.
It does. Not so much anymore, primarily because I wouldn't necessarily categorize you as more conservative as I would like libertarian.
Yeah.
And I think atheism falls well within that.
Mhm.
So that doesn't surprise me. Like, I think it's because, again, when I think of conservative, I think of the conservatives that are pushed on television, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those do not represent.
Well, I mean, even I mean, both conservatives
represent people,
and
but-
leftists are very heavily characterized, like a caricature on television. Like you being, you're a leftist, but you're not anything like we see on TV.
No.
No, because I'm a normal person, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think
no
that's
way.
where a lot of the disconnect comes from both sides when they and why they fight so much. They see that character. I can't even say it now.
Caricature.
Yes, they see that and they believe that's how everyone is when everyone's not that way. A lot of people, leftists or conservatives, they have more in common than what is portrayed.
100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. But I think the reason there's a lot of animosity has to do with the fact that the people that are put in power, and I'm going to look at Republicans on this one, the Republicans that are put into power are voted on by people that, again, don't necessarily believe in the majority of what that person is spouting.
Yeah.
But you're still putting him in a position of power, or him or her in a position of power, to make a law that is going to negatively impact a lot of people simply because you either want to be a troll, or B, you agree with one fucking point that person has. They're an entirely asshole of a person. They're a shitty person altogether, but they have one point you like. So you're going to vote for them because the other person is a Democrat. You might agree with 80% of the shit that the Democrat wants to do, but because they're Democrat, they have a D. Oh, I can't vote for them, and that's fucking irritating.
And that's because a lot of voters are low information voters. They only go after that one thing that one person supports, like you said, instead of researching everyone.
Which is going to be really interesting now going forward, especially coming into midterms. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I agree. Most voters are on both sides. Most voters are low information voters, and most voters vote on one issue. That one issue for the longest time for conservatives was Roe v. Wade. It's fucking gone. Yep. So one of two things is going to happen. They got to find a new fucking one issue, or they don't vote.
The economy is what they're pushing right now,
Yeah.
and the woke garbage crap I mean, that's what they call it.
I know that's what they call it. And again, that to me is a non-issue. I don't see how that's. You can try and make an issue, but I don't see how that's an issue. I really don't see how wokeism is an issue.
I know when you and I argue on the Discord, I make it seem like it's a big deal, but it's just because I'm on fucking camera. It fucking hates me every time I try and talk. It's because apparently I'm wrong. So every time we argue, I mean, I make it a bigger deal because I'm arguing that side, but I really don't think it's as big as an issue as it's made out to be.
No, because we see a lot of these issues that we hear that's going on in school, and we'll ask our sons, like, what are you hearing or being taught from your teachers in school? Are you seeing any of this?
But you got to remember, we're also in we're in a purple state, but it leans more conservative. So they're probably not
Yeah.
going to see it as much here in Ohio.
But you never know. I mean, you might have that one weird ass teacher that is just going to take it upon themselves to, I don't want to say force their views,
Right
but
there with you, Aaliyah.
do you say?
influence their views.
So Leo says, I like 85% of what Trump did policy wise, but hated him as a man. I don't care about what a president does personally, but what they do presidentially. That includes Trump to Clinton, which, yeah, I agree with a lot of what Trump did. He was an idiot, though.
He wasn't, and he will vouch. I've even said, God damn, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
But
his
his policy.
See, she got blurred out. So she's not an idiot. She's
Since you
That's the rule.
have,
This camera is horrible.
we
since you
need to get
have
you a new laptop.
Leo there, I'm going to ask a question for both of you, for everyone listening,
Agreed.
because there you go, just fade to black. I'm really curious. What you said, 85% of what he did as a president. Can I please get a list of what that is?
Hey, Leo.
Because 85% of what I saw him as a president, this is again for me, what I saw as a president was bullshit on Twitter. A porn
That's
star,
all we ever saw of Trump. This gets
a
us all the
porn
media
star,
pushed.
the porn star issue, like 5 different people, the not Speaker of the House, the PR person. What the fuck are they called? I'm drawing a blank.
What's her name?
Kellyanne
It's not the
Conway
same one that's
never did it.
for-
No, it was
Yeah,
it
it's
was
not the same
the
one.
no, it was the one that had
It was the blonde hair.
it was, well, no, that's Kellyanne Conway, not her. I'm talking about okay, it was a dude that did it originally. It was like, looks like Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm a fat white guy too, but he
I
was like
don't
hella short.
know. I didn't get into politics stuff until I think
So,
it was the third year
whatever-
of Trump.
Okay, Jen Psaki is Biden.
Yeah,
Oh
Jen
God, I
Psaki
does
hate
this.
her.
What is her title? Is what I'm asking.
Oh crap! Well, she
Her
doesn't have a
title?
title anymore.
Yeah, she's not there. No,
I understand that, but her title, right? Trump had 5 of those, whatever the fuck it's called.
What was her title? She press secretary.
Press secretary. So he had 5 press secretaries, and then pulling out the climate accord. So what is his 85% that you agree policy wise you agreed with, please? I'm curious.
So it looks like he loved his stance on stopping the flood of illegal immigrants into our country. He was standing up for America first, then others second. So basically, he's putting the American people first before other countries, which I have to agree with.
Kind of goes along with what I've talked to you about before.
That's
You have to
bullshit
fix
out of
your
his mouth.
problems first.
What did he do though? That's not a policy. That's a bullshit I can spout out my ass. I can say it in front of a microphone too and do fuck all nothing about it.
Yeah.
What was a policy he put in place? And I'm curious because he built a wall. It wasn't that fucking big and it was stupid, but he built a fucking wall. So are you saying built the wall or just his rhetoric about illegal immigration? Like, because again, there's a difference. Biden talked a great, I'll talk shit on Biden too. He talked a great big game running for president's done fuck all nothing. Right? Talked a great big game about how he wanted to do all this shit. Has done fuck all nothing. So again, it
As you
goes
can
both
see,
ways. agree
Neil
on that.
is not like Trump whatsoever.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I do not like Trump. I'm not a big fan of Biden either. So
I feel bad
but-
for Biden, man. He definitely has some issues with him, and it's getting worse. And they need to let him step down.
but again, I'm the 85% policies because I honestly don't know that even
I think the 85% was just a number he threw out.
okay, because I can only honestly think of one policy that Trump did that I was good with. Just one.
She's pulling up all of his policies right now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Because again, I will be honest, I am biased. I do not like the guy and would find any reason to shit on him.
No.
I will give
Hold
him.
on. I get it's my ad blocker, honey. Hold on. Why can I not spell? There you go. That's not what it was.
Go back to what I had pulled up before.
That website's not going to work because of my ad blocker.
Oh my gosh. All right, we'll move.
Here.
Move.
She's trying to take over.
All right, so
She's
So
she's just
first-
gonna
first things up-
she's just gonna start spouting stuff without reading it first, so it could just be lies. Who knows? Elio says it is honestly just a symbolic I'm assuming representation of all that he did in office. I love the fact that he pushed his son-in-law to create a peace treaty in the Middle East with many Middle East countries. All
That
of
was the
whom are
one
now,
credit thing I was going to give him credit for. I will
yeah.
give him credit for that. That's the only one I can think of.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that he did, we didn't really hear about because the media hated him. They hated on him freaking, man.
Not all the media. Fox News and OAN were all up on his nuts.
I don't watch.
They would have
OAN.
been
Fox
they would've
News is
been-
still up on his nuts.
100%.
But I mean, so is
they've
every
been-
other freaking everything. Every time they say something about Biden, well, Trump, this is what Trump did. They always bring Trump back up. They got Trump derangement syndrome.
And so on that, I know one of the things that Leo mentioned was he made America first, and it was all about America first.
Mhm.
So we're okay with nationalism. Like,
To an extent,
we're
yes.
fine with
To an extent.
nationalism. Okay, and
You should love and want your country to prosper.
you should know 100%. You should want your country to prosper, but there's a difference between wanting your country to prosper and then arbitrarily saying your country is the greatest when it's lacking in multiple categories.
Our country is the greatest. It's just because we live here.
Our country is the greatest militarily, sure.
Yes. Our country has the power to help every other country when they need it.
Country has the money to help other countries when they need it as well.
Beth, you were so excited about this website. You're just scrolling through. You're not even reading
this
stuff.
wasn't the website that I was on.
Well, find the one you were just on. So if you click on that other window up there, the other tab, that's the one, that's the search you did. You can probably find the website you were just on. And if you let me see when it pops up, I can probably fix it. Leo doesn't like Fox either. Fox is a joke. She's taken over my monitor where my freaking chat is. So I had to switch over to my phone to be able to read chat. As a person who has traveled all over and has friends from Europe and Ireland, we are very lucky. I don't know. We've got a lot of friends on our Discord that are all over the world, and we haven't really discussed much with them. We had, what was that one girl's name? I can't remember her name. She was in there for a while on the PolitiTalks channel. Leo, I'll get you a link to our Discord. Send me a private message on Twitch, and I'll get you a link to our Discord. You can take part in our Discord chat and then the PolitiTalks channel. But yeah, we have a lot of people, because I used to do 3D printing and prop making. So we have people all over the world that was part of our Discord group, and we decided to make a political channel because, politics was getting shoved down our throat starting about 2 years ago. So we wanted to make a channel.
Oh, it's a lot longer than 2 years ago now, but okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. We're 2 years into freaking Biden now, almost a year and a half. So it's about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago when I started following it.
So one thing he did, the executive order minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. So what that means to me is that when I go to file my taxes, and because the company I work for, I can't afford to cover my entire family under my health plan at work. I can only afford to cover myself.
Hold on 1 second. I write slow. Can you reread what it was? Minimize the burden of.
I can send you the link.
Yeah.
on
Oh
the
yeah, send me the
Discord.
link. That'd be way better. Thank you.
what that did for me was I'm no longer monetarily penalized for not being able to afford to pay for healthcare.
Oh, you're talking about because in the, we're gonna say Obamacare, but the Affordable Care Act,
Let's see if I
Yeah.
don't know if I can put
there was a thing that said
called
you-
cryogenic designs, Leo. Let me see if I can get a link
Okay,
to it.
so I'm guessing you're talking about the Affordable Care Act. And in
Yeah.
the Affordable Care Act, there was a provision that if you did not have health insurance, you could be taxed. The word didn't say fine, taxed for that, right? And he
Well, I wasn't
removed-
taxed. I was fined. I had to
Oh,
pay it
shit.
out of my income tax
Close my
every year.
Discord.
Correct, and it was an added tax for not doing it. That's how they got away with it. It went to the Supreme Court. There was the whole thing. That's why I'm saying it that way. I'm making sure to say it that way. Yeah, and that's also because it has to do with the state you live in. Because if you lived in a state that opted in to the federal government subsidization, you would have been covered. But most Republican states opted out. Their governors opted out because it was an opt-in process. And again, they didn't want to have to front the cost for it because they're saying it would be too large of a burden of a cost onto their state. However, the federal government was willing to cover 95% of the cost for the state. And so the state just decided not to do it. So it did help, but the majority of the reason you even had that to begin with was because your Republican state governor decided to opt out.
Well, thankfully for
Hey,
Trump,
Leo,
he
I
did
sent
away
you a
with it, and I
whisper
didn't have to worry
with a
about
link
it
to the
anymore.
Discord. Answer that message and send me back your name on Discord because I got to approve you once you join to give you access to the server. Otherwise, you won't see anything.
But to the larger point, you, your family, everybody could have been covered had they opted in for a much less lower cost than what you're currently paying for health insurance now.
Well, I think they ought to
All
put
right,
it. They should
I'll
have
look
put a
for you
cap
on here.
on.
Allie number.
I don't. I didn't
6084.
want government health care. I
Once
think it was
once
shit
you join,
anyway.
it'll make it easier. I mean, once you join whatever page that is there, whatever one allows you to
Hold
type,
on.
just say hi. That way I can find you easier.
Are
Why do
done?
you think? Why do you
I'm
think?
talking to our chat people.
Why do you think government health care is shit?
It just I've had government insurance, like state insurance before, and every time you walk in and you hand them your card and they see that you've got state insurance, they just look at you like you're trash, and I
That's
absolutely
not the
hated it.
insurance's fault, though. That's the provider's fault, right?
Yeah,
That's the healthcare provider's fault.
But my whole thing is, instead of having like I don't Obamacare, I don't know. It just
Exactly. You're muted, by the way. You're muted. The mic got touched. So I can't hear what you're saying. There you go.
There we go. What I didn't like was the fact that when they made healthcare mandatory, something that you had to have, kind of like car insurance, they by doing that, it gave the go ahead for private insurance companies to say, well, since they have to have it, we're going to jack our rates through the roof, instead of saying, okay, by making healthcare mandatory, putting it, setting a cap at what other insurance companies can charge. That way you can go to anywhere and afford healthcare rather than having to rely on the federal government to give you health insurance. That's just stupid.
So two things. The first is that capitalism and the free market is what you're talking about. That didn't go away. Putting more people onto the market gives a wider base, yes. But if there's more health insurance companies, which there are, the prices should go down through the free market. That's capitalism.
But it didn't.
That's
They
what our
went through the
countries.
roof.
Well, yeah, because again, capitalism is bad. So we agree capitalism is bad. You're against capitalism then, because I am against capitalism. So you agree that it's bad. It's not working. It needs to be changed. The second thing is, why is federal health insurance, so federal government health insurance, bad? And the reason I'm asking is because 85% of people like Medicare. That's federal government health insurance. Every senator, every congressman has federal health insurance. The president has federal health
They've got
insurance.
the money, they can go and pay.
No, I guarantee you, they all have publicly paid health insurance. It is excellent and they love it. My question is, why don't they open it up to everybody else? That's been my question.
Because we're not
But-
in the club. We don't have their kind of money.
Correct. But it also shows that federal government, that government health insurance, government provided health insurance can be good. And when you
I'm not
privatize health
totally
insurance,
convinced that they have government insurance. I'm pretty sure
no,
with
you
their
can,
kind of money and the hospitals they go to, they pay for their own insurance and they got damn good insurance.
you can go ahead and look it up. It's public information and public knowledge. They have public health insurance. The doctor the president gets is again paid by he's a government employee. The one that Trump saw when he got COVID, that's a government employee. So they have health insurance. And then the other thing too, when you privatize health insurance like we have, and you privatize medicine, one of the arguments I always hear is that you're going to get the best, right? Because people want to make money, they're going to get the best. And that's a bullshit argument. And the reason it's a bullshit argument is because companies don't want to give you the best. They want to give you the most affordable. And typically the most affordable is the prettiest and the cheapest, but it's absolute shit. And that goes for your health insurance as well. So when you get privatized health insurance, they're giving you something that looks pretty and it's cheap as fuck, but it's absolute garbage health insurance. When you have something that's mandated by the government, run by the government, and has checks and balances to make sure that you're getting base adequate healthcare, it might not be the best, but it's going to be better than what you're going to be getting from a bullshit company that's just trying to sell you something. And I can see we disagree on that.
I haven't been listening. I've been trying to figure out this Discord thing. Something about
We're talking about
health.
health insurance. We're talking about healthcare. Well, healthcare. Yeah, we actually
Like, I'm
other
totally-
podcast came to a conclusion on that, which was pretty interesting. Or at least Zach and I did.
Did you?
Yeah. We came to a fairly good understanding of health insurance with that.
Leo says, hard to say through text, but I believe we all need to be adults and pay for our own stuff. And if you can't afford it, you should go to a charity or a church. I believe in hand-ups, not handouts. That's a good.
So wouldn't
Okay.
assistance from the government be a hand up, not a handout?
Say that one more time.
Wouldn't assistance from the government then be a hand up, not a handout?
Mm,
If you're getting help, what does it matter where it comes from?
I no, what I don't know. I mean, you and
That's the
we've
question
already,
I have.
you and I've already discussed this. I agree with government help assistance,
Yeah.
but it needs to be
So,
regulated a bit more
and
Instead of
That's
being
fine.
because
I'm
like,
honestly
everyone
fine for
needs
that.
help at some point. But
exactly, and
They
I'm fine with that.
They should have to prove that they're working their way out of not needing that help anymore.
yeah,
That's fine because
I've known people that have
again-
been on welfare for 15, 20 years. And, we asked them, well, why are you not taking steps to get to the point where you don't need that anymore? And they're like, well, why should I? I
is-
get it for free.
It is a open. We got another viewer. Hi,
wonderful.
Tilgen. Is not a MAGA stream. It is a political, as the title says, PolitiTalks. We have both sides here. We have different guests every week. Usually it's just me and Neil or FA, as you see. But a lot of our guests are more right-leaning.
Yeah, I tend to be the only liberal here. That's fine. I'm
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but
I've been trying to get people to join up, but no one wants to get on camera.
that's the funny thing, though. The leftists never want to sit and have conversations. You're a wild card, FA.
I'm a
Never wanna
fucking
sit down
unicorn.
with the guys on the right.
I need to get my horn. I'm a unicorn. It's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
you really are.
I need to put our Discord link, or we need to create a PolitiTalks Discord and move to that, because the cryogenic designs, it's kind of dead.
Primarily for
It's
also
kinda-
primarily for 3D printing and whatnot, right?
yeah.
Which was cool.
Oh,
Did we
and
get to
Leo
see-
says you're also respectful. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's always a good thing too.
Well, that's why we wanted to start our PolitiTalks channel on my prop making Discord, is because, like I said, everybody wanted to start talking politics, but I didn't want it in the main because it didn't go with the Discord itself. It didn't fit the theme, so I made a hidden channel for people that wanted to talk politics. They would have that channel to go to, and our one rule was you can talk politics, you can disagree up to the point that you're not actually targeting a specific person. As soon as it starts to get to the point where you're attacking that person for their viewpoints, that's when we stop.
Yeah.
And I'll be fair. The whole reason I even started joining up on that and started this podcast what we're doing right now started out of a base interest of my own. I find it fascinating, and every time I say this, it comes off as condescending and rude, and I guess I am, but I try to be
You
respectful.
are very rude.
when I still try to be respectful when I do it, right? But
Yeah,
I
exactly,
find it
Leo.
I find it interesting when people vote against their own self-interests. And what really, I'll be honest, what really drove me to it was, and again, you're the exception to this, people that were, again, religious that voted for Trump, who was not religious
Yeah,
by any stretch
not
of
at
the
all.
imagination, and doesn't hold any of their values, and still purported him to be this religious figure. And it again just amazed me. I didn't find it appalling. I didn't get upset. I didn't get mad. I just really was like, I gotta know. I gotta talk to these people. How? Just how? But it evolved into just how can you like Trump? And I find it easy to hate somebody without knowing everything. I'm not going to say I'm going to become a Trump fan. I know I'm never going to be a Trump fan, but I
I'll never
would at
become a
least
fan of
like
Trump as a
to.
person.
I honestly still have yet to find, aside from that one policy, anything that I actually like that he did. So that's why I really
Look at how
want
our
that.
economy was the first 3 years before COVID. We had a great economy. That's what a lot of people liked about Trump. That's what they remember now, is that great economy compared to what we have now.
Oh, it's shit now. I had a conniption at the fucking pump the other day.
But I think a lot of the hardcore Trump Christian right-wing nut jobs are part of that low information voter block. It's because Aaliyah says it's because religiousness is never what I look at in a president. I care about what he is going to do in office. If Clinton had Trump policies, I would vote him in. That's the thing, though. Clinton back in the 90s, he would be right wing compared to the policies now.
No, they're talking about Hillary Clinton. That's who ran against Trump.
No, he's talking. I don't think he's talking about Hillary Clinton.
She's the one that ran against Trump.
Sorry,
again,
Leo.
So
Leo's a Christian right winger.
that's fine. Then he'd be great to talk to too, because again, I still have curious.
He's part of the Discord.
You mentioned
we can talk with him over the next.
You mentioned
week. Get him invited.
You mentioned the
economy, he's talking
right?
about Mr. Clinton. Okay.
Yeah. Because you mentioned the economy, and yeah, the economy was doing well.
Cutting out a little bit there.
All right. So you mentioned the economy. I'm looking at the growth chart of the economy under Trump, and I'll just go ahead and I should make sure I'm in the right Discord channel before I paste it, so I don't get booped out of another Discord.
Yeah, make sure you're in the right channel.
Right. And again, it's just interesting. The economy was doing well under Trump, but it was doing well under Obama. In fact, it was on an inward climb.
The economy wasn't bad either.
For 8 years, constantly going up, and it just continued. So again, and this goes back to my overarching point, though. I can't see a policy that he did that he liked, but I can't see a policy that he did. So if you have an economy that's doing well and you just leave it the fuck alone, is going to continue to do well, regardless of what your political affiliation is. If your economy is doing well and you just leave it the fuck alone, it's going to continue to do well.
But from what I mean, this is going to be personal feelings, back during Obama, we were doing decent ourselves monetarily, but when over the years of Trump, we just went from being where we're constantly worrying about bills to where we're at now. We had an excess of disposable income. We grew exponentially with where we sat money wise over the Trump years, a lot faster than we did during the Obama era. So I mean, like I said, this is personal feelings.
Mhm.
And as you know, I'm not very great with words, so can't really explain myself very well.
No, you felt richer than you do now.
Yeah,
under Trump.
I felt like we grew faster. I'll read it here in a second.
He's in troubleshooting, so if you want to drag him in,
I'm in troubleshooting if you want to drag me in. What do you mean?
he doesn't see any general chats in Discord.
Oh, 1 second. But yeah, I feel like we grew better during the Trump era than we did during the Obama era, even though Obama's economy was still fairly decent. We didn't grow as quickly in that era as we did, fucking camera, as we did during the Trump era.
Okay.
No, Leah. We're gonna you can see the PolitiTalks channel. We're going. Okay, my camera does not like me. We're
No.
going to talk to you over the next week and vet you, because we're not going to just let you jump into our podcast right away. We need to make sure that you're going to fit in with us, because we have a couple people that, like Kurt, we weren't sure about him at first, were we? Fa. We didn't know
Yeah.
if we wanted him in there, but he did pretty well, and he's mellowed out a lot. So I'm not saying that we don't want you to be in the podcast, Leah, but we just want to make sure it's going to be a good fit, and you're not just going to be some kind of asshole that jumps in here trying to, be
Which
a
I'm sure
troll.
you won't. But yeah.
Because
All
we still are new to the podcasting thing, but we're not new to running a community.
Right. This actually, and I don't want to. I hate to end
won't.
the
Yeah,
conversation.
it's getting pretty late, so we do need
It's
to.
getting late. But what I was gonna say is this actually gives a great segue into the next podcast, because I would like. So thank you for the link. I'm looking at the link now of Trump's executive orders. So specifically on his executive orders, which is going to be bad and good, but I have a feeling mostly bad when I start looking at all of them. But we can definitely go over this next podcast. I think it'd be interesting to look at his executive orders that he passed and talk about those. And
Okay.
we can even break it down to a percentage. Like, of those, what percentages do you actually agree with? There we go. Now we can see
Fucking
it.
camera.
Because I guess that to me that'd be kind of interesting. Like, if you just go by numbers, right, out of all the executive orders, looking at them and seeing what they did,
Mhm.
how many did you actually agree with and like? How many did you not like? And is it really a majority that you actually agree with and like? You know what I mean? And if it's not, is it because you weighted some more than others, or what? That'd be kind of a curious thing to do. So yeah, I think we should do it next week. Looking at his
To
policy,
have a Trump discussion. Maybe the week after that we can do a Biden thing.
I'm fine with that too. Yeah, we can go from Trump to Biden.
Because
That'll
we've
do
just
work.
the last few episodes we just been flying by the seat of our pants.
Mhm.
It's kind
This
of
will be more. Well, because every time I want to have a discussion, like I really want to pull Zach into some certain discussions, but then he's got some
always
things
busy.
going on. Yeah, he's popular, man. That's what happens when you're young. You're popular. You got shit to do. I'm old. I ain't got shit to do.
Leo says his one last thing. I like him, meaning Trump, because he opened us up in regards to domestic oil. It's funny to me that we talk about breaking Russia's economy by cutting oil off, and it's the first thing our president did. Yeah, that is the first thing that he did.
Who, Biden?
I guess, yeah, I know he allowed the Russian oil to go through whatever that pipeline was.
I'm completely. I'll be honest, man. I'm confused on where you're going with that. I'm sorry. I would
Yeah,
need
I'm
a little
just
bit more
reading what he said.
context. Yeah, no, and it's fine.
Once we
I
close
understand
out the
a little more
episode,
context.
we'll go ahead and switch over to the Discord, and you can put it into the Discord and explain it there, Leo.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have to.
Because
Oh,
we're about to end the
man.
episode. It's getting going on 2
Yeah.
hours now for this one, which is a pretty long episode.
Yeah,
You're
All right,
gonna.
and we're-
Did you finish editing the one from last week and put that
I
up?
haven't even touched the one from last week. I ain't gonna lie.
Goodness.
It has been. Well, it got up. It got up kind of late, right? Wednesday or Thursday, is when it got up, uploaded, right? Was it like
Yeah.
Wednesday?
Yeah, it was
when it
Wednesday.
got uploaded?
I completely
and-
forgot to upload it right after
Yeah.
the podcast. We got doing stuff.
And so, so yeah, I haven't had time between birthday parties and family issues, not issues, but commitments. I really haven't had time to do shit. And I'll be honest, I am fucking beat at night now. My kid, the babies, man, They're just tiring. So it's tiring.
I
So
haven't had to deal with the young kids in quite a few years now.
Yeah,
With our
it's
kids
been
being,
a
but
while.
she's
It's-
oh man.
it's been lately now. He's 1.5, right? And
Yeah.
now April, May, June. Yeah, so 14, 15 months. He wants me to go to sleep now. Right. So he wants to go to sleep with me, which is great. I'm glad he loves me.
We'll
But
do it
man,
later.
it's tiring. It's tiring. So yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I will get to it. I need to get to it today because I start school tomorrow. So yeah, I need to get to it today. But yeah, it'll be up soon. And then once you get this one uploaded, I'll have this one. I usually have them uploaded by Thursday, is
Okay.
typically when I get them, because usually Monday, Tuesday is a good day for me to work on them.
And your
So.
YouTube channel is just FAOSO, right?
Yeah, so the YouTube channel is, let me bring it up.
Go ahead and post a
Hit
link.
YouTube.
Open up the Twitch channel and post a link to it in the chat if you can. Because I don't think I have it up. I haven't
Copy.
done much with the actual Twitch channel itself because I just started it on Saturday or something.
Right here. I'm going to post it in the chat so you can do what you need to. That's the link to the YouTube channel. Speaking of YouTube, did you see my son's horror movie trailer that
I
posted?
did. I haven't shown the wife yet.
I'm super proud. He's 10 and he made his own horror movie trailer. It's fucking awesome. So I'm just a proud dad.
So Leo FA usually does. We only started being able to do the Twitch stream here recently because my computer, I didn't have a Wi-Fi card in my desktop computer, and I didn't have a way to connect it directly to with an Ethernet cable. So I was using my wife's laptop as a Wi-Fi card for my desktop computer. So it wasn't working with me streaming our chat on Zoom and streaming to Twitch. So this will be the first weekend that we were able to actually stream on Twitch. But FA,
Nice.
he's been editing our videos and putting up on his YouTube channel. We're gonna try and
Yep.
expand over the different
Platforms.
social media platforms.
Yep.
So you can find me on most of them at Cryogenic Marine. FA, yours is just FAOSO on all of
It's
them.
well, yeah, it's FAOs on most of them, except for Twitter, I actually use my real name. So it's at Neil_Schrepfer. Is my Twitter handle as well.
And as I start messing with the actual Twitch channel, I'll get all of our information and links put up onto it.
Sweet.
And then the wife here, what's yours? Your Twitter? She's not very active on it, but
Oh, I have to look it up.
see,
I don't even
she's
know.
so inactive on it that she doesn't even know what it is.
I'm active on Twitter, but it's usually for Destiny. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
what I started mine for, was Destiny related stuff, but then I got bored with Destiny and all I did was make props.
Yeah, so on
started my
Twitter, I'm
Twitter.
at Beth Payton 4.
It's BETHPEYTON 4.
I started my Twitter specifically to complain to Bungie when Destiny 2 first dropped out.
Most-
Nah,
Most
For real.
Bungie or Destiny related Twitch members